All right, greetings. Good afternoon, Eastern Standard Time for my folks on the East Coast, and greetings and hello to everyone all around different places and spaces. I hope everyone is safe, and hope everyone's doing well. My name is Courtney Rollins. I am hosting today's role play with Probate Mastery. Bruce may join us a little later on. Hopefully, we have some of the uh, regular faces and voices that help us really hone our skills when it comes to helping support people through the probate process, all while solving problems related to real estate and some outside of that. All right. Yeah, I think I see Bruce in here. Awesome. See some other also awesome faces. This is being recorded, as you probably know from the prompt that should have come up. And also, if you are interested in coaching or working with Bruce or any of the amazing coaches, please reach out to Probate Mastery or send a email or text or DM to probatemastery.com, and we'll put you and get you in the right place, and hopefully see if it's something that fits. Today's this role play, this is again is what we get out, what we put into it. So we're trying to go over different obstacles, different challenges, or different situations that you may face or present or be presented when you're talking to particularly personal representatives, people who have the opportunity to say yes or no about selling or listing their property, or any stakeholder that's involved in this process. So anybody who wants to join, you're more than welcome. Just put in the chat, or when we ask you to volunteer, raise your hand if there's a specific topic or obstacle or challenge that you want us to cover. Please let us know that, and we'll try to address that. Um, Again, Courtney Rollins. I see Bruce here. What's up, Bruce? How's it
What's
going, man?
happening, Courtney? How's it going?
Feeling great, doing great, man. How about
Good,
yourself?
good, good.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, so folks, you please use the chat as well to communicate with each other. If you want to drop your name, your area of focus in real estate, and your market space, please put that in the chat there, as well as any challenges, obstacles, or role play scenarios you want us to cover. And hopefully, you'll volunteer and try it out. All right. Okay, awesome. All right. So, you have any statements or comments or anything you want to add in there, Bruce?
I don't appreciate everybody being here. I do. Go ahead and make me a co-host.
Oh, awesome.
I'll control the pins for the recording. Someone had just asked a few minutes ago where they can see the recordings. Those are usually up in YouTube within a couple of days. So if you are not following the Probate Mastery YouTube channel, go follow that. You get access to all the coaching calls that we've done, those recordings, the private workshops that we're doing, the role play calls, the agent success stories, and other expert interviews that we've done. They're all over there on the YouTube channel.
Awesome, great. So, folks, thinking about all the prospecting that you've done over the past recently, or challenges that come up, what's coming up now? And I see Bernie's hand raised. So, Bernie, if you're not already off mute, go ahead and take yourself off mute and please share.
Thanks, Courtney. I'm wanting to role play for the first time, so it's new to
Yeah,
me. I hope you'll be kind to me, but I'm just saying I'm willing to give it a shot.
that is awesome. That is awesome. Is there a particular scenario you want to go over, or you want to just
Oh, the cold call to a personal representative.
awesome?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, why don't you ring me in, and I'll go ahead and volunteer and be the personal representative.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Yeah, hi. My name is Bernie Steffen, and I work closely with the clerk of the court, several attorneys, personal property liquidators, and home maintenance services. Do you think I can take a second to tell you what I'm calling about?
You're calling about? You said you're what now?
Uh, yeah, I'm a real estate broker, but I provide a concierge service to folks facing probate. Courtney, I understand you're the personal representative for the estate of Dwayne. Well, let me see here, Rollins.
Yeah, that was my older brother. Yeah, I am. Yeah, but I think we're pretty good to go, Bernie. I have an attorney that should be taking care of the probate.
Well, that's good. That's really important that you have an attorney. I work closely with a number of attorneys, and I offer those things that are not what an attorney does, but relate to other parts of this process. Are you familiar? Have you done this before, being a personal representative?
No, man, this is First time, hopefully the only time, man.
Well, I provide this local concierge service for people going through probate. I help with anything you might need from real estate to home repairs, property clean out, and estate sales. Is
Mm.
there anything I could offer you today, or do you have everything handled?
Well, we got the attorney taking care of things, but I mean, we still haven't gotten over there to clean everything out. I was supposed to get over there this weekend to me and my sister are supposed to get over there this weekend to see what's in the house and what we want to keep. But it
So I
just
think I'm hearing, Courtney, that you for now you're all right, but it's a little too early. Am I correct believing that you're too early to really know if you need anything help?
well, I mean, I know we're going to eventually have to, sell the property. She lives in Georgia, and I'm just too busy. It's just a matter of figuring out when we can. He has some personal items, some guns and some things over there. We wanted to make sure we picked up and share with the family and all, but
Well,
just a matter of time, man. Just and also like I said, I have an attorney, so I don't even know when we're able to have the green light to even sell. Just a lot going on.
well, there's a lot going on with weather too. I know you folks in the
Mm.
south there are having a heck of a problem.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
well, I'm hearing you, and I'd like to send you some information. All right, if I ask you when I send it to you, if I can give you a call, would that be fair?
To to give me a just send me information, give me a call.
Well, I'm saying let me send you some information, and then if you have anything that you want help with, you give me a call.
I mean, yeah, sure, man. You can go ahead and send me something.
Perfect.
I'll take a look.
What's the best email?
Courtney@gmail.com.
Oh, thank you. Hey, listen, before I jump off, I know there's nothing you need right now, but I work in the real estate space as well. I'm a real estate broker. Have you
Mhm.
decided if you're going to sell the estate of your brother, or is it too early to have decided that?
Well, yeah, like I said, we're gonna sell it. I just gotta. I mean, I'm sure we're gonna end up selling it, man. Just gotta get this take care of the stuff in there. He collected a lot of things, some valuable stuff over there. We just want to make sure we do it right.
Well, you're
And
smart to do it right. I totally understand. So, if a few months down the road, when you're ready to sell it, can I bring you an offer?
um, I mean, yeah, that's the whole point. Yeah, sure.
Well, good, good. Well, you have a long journey ahead. So, in the meantime, while you talk about it and prepare and work with your attorney, do you think you'd be open to seeing a preliminary estimate of what price I could get you?
Like how much you could like when you want to make an offer. I mean, I think I need to.
Yeah,
I'd rather just clean it out before we get over. It's a real beautiful property. Just I want to clean it out before. I mean,
yeah.
unless you just give me an offer, do you need to look at it or something? Or
Well, you're not ready to receive an offer, I hear, and that's fine. But for me to get a look at the property and know what it might be worth, I need to do a drive-by and see the outside of the house and see the neighborhood. I don't imagine that you or another family member might be there in the next couple of weeks or so that I could stop by and see the inside of the house for 10 minutes.
how about you send me your information? Let me see who you are. We're going to try to get over there this weekend, but send me your information. I'll look you up and all, and then if
I'll
you want,
definitely
call me back later this week, and because we're supposed to get out there Saturday. I just haven't talked to my sister about when.
Well, that's good. Yes, I will definitely send it to you.
Mhm.
And I may swing by on Saturday and see if you're home. I'll knock on the door and get to meet you in person. Is that all right?
Well, I mean, I won't be here. I'll probably be at the house, but let me look at your information. You just
Yeah,
and I can shoot you the address, and maybe we can meet up there Saturday. I just don't know what time.
very good. All right, Courtney, thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to meeting with you.
All right. Thanks, Bernie.
Bye-bye.
All right. All right. All right. Cool. 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 How'd you feel, Bernie?
Yeah, good
Ah,
job, Bernie.
I used a lot of Bruce's coaching, all of the words that he uses.
Yeah, I can hear it all throughout. What else you thinking? Or anybody want to hop on and share any thoughts? What went well, or some suggestions as well?
Would it have been okay if he, when he was like kind of hesitant and he said he's working with an attorney, would it be okay if he, because I think I would have, and I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but I think I would have said, would asked him permission to speak with the attorney. And this way I can call the attorney and say, I spoke to Courtney and Courtney gave me your number and said it was okay for me to speak with you, and then you could, establish a relationship with the attorney. Is that something that he could have done or not?
My suggestion is not yet. That's my personal suggestion. Mainly because I'm picking up on some clues from Courtney that there was some hesitance, skepticism, resistance in there. So I think that before you make a big ask like that, you need to break down some of those barriers.
I think
before asking, hey, can I call your attorney? To the average person is going to feel a little bit weird when they're like trying to shut you down.
I think since you're on that point, I think Bernie did a really good job of confirming. That was an obstacle that we all hear quite often. You confirmed it. Oh, that's great. A lot of people work with attorneys. So you're already edifying yourself with a third party. Other people we work with attorneys. This is cool. Just like something you could do. So that was a good job there.
You,
It was a
Courtney. I
great job.
appreciate you playing the role. You
Yeah.
made it interesting for me.
Now, if I'd say though, I think that there was an opportunity to listen a little more though, because I was giving you like some alley-oops to talk about the clean out and some support that you may have been able to provide there. And I think you were following the script, and it did sound natural, even though you were following the script. But there were, I did already say that I was going to be at the house, Saturday, and I think there was something else where it was like, if somebody was really like just flowing in the conversation, it would have been you would have already heard that and been able to ask more questions or to build off of that part of the conversation. Particularly when I said I was going to sell the house, and when I said I was going to be at the house Saturday. What else you guys think? What else can give that was worked well or offer to Bernie?
This is Barbara Brush. I'm in Northern New Jersey. I thought that was really great, Bernie. I am going into probate now, and so since I'm in Northern New Jersey, I'm a little aggressive with my style. So it was really nice to see that you listened and kind of took it slow, and you said, hey, it doesn't sound like you're ready yet, and you got the one piece of information which is so important and valuable, I thought, which was the email.
Yeah.
And then you also got him to tell you that, he was going to the house on Saturday, and I thought, Courtney, that you kind of like soft kind of invited him to say, stop by.
Yeah. I was trying to give it to him.
Yeah. And I thought at that point, that's probably when I would have, I'm thinking Bernie maybe would think the same thing. I would have stopped in and been like, hey, I can bring somebody here to help you with all of this. That's maybe when I would have picked up all those cherries that dropped off the tree, And so I thought you did a great job. It's my first time in this role play. I don't know anything about anything, but
hey,
yeah,
I thought that was great.
Thanks, Barbara.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thanks, Barbara. There were a number of cherries that were there, and I think that you were picking them up. The one worry that I have with that diagram that I show with our 9 different steps in the process is sometimes we can learn that and say, hey, most people are going to say, I don't need help. Most people are going to say, I don't know if we're going to sell the house yet. And so, Bernie, I felt like you were kind of following that diagram, and Courtney didn't give perfect answers that go exactly the way that that most people respond. And so there were a few things, like, for example, in the beginning, Courtney said, yeah, we're probably going to sell the house. And you said, hey, it sounds like it's probably you're just not really needing anything right now. And then you came back to the house later where I think that there's times when you hear something that's a little bit unusual like that, kind of like, hey, we're probably going to sell the house, and you need to throw the diagram away and basically say, okay, let me ask them about timing. And that might not be on our flow chart or diagram, but it would have been a good opportunity to kind of toss that flow chart away and just start digging into a conversation. One thing that I noticed that you did multiple times is you labeled Courtney amazingly well. Amazingly well. For those that don't know, a label is essentially, and it sounds like statement. So it sounds like this. You're assuming something about the person that you're talking to. And I normally tell people, hey, you don't want to say it sounds like 22 times on a phone call. It starts to get a little bit weird when everything is, it sounds like this, it sounds like that, it sounds like this over here. I liked what you said. You said, I think I'm hearing you correctly, that, and then you labeled him. And that was a great way to label someone. I do feel like the real estate was there for the appointment though. You probably, instead of being assertive, you probably soft pedaled into it just a little bit more once he identified that we are going to sell. We're just not sure when or when we're allowed. I probably would have gone a little bit more assertive there and said, hey, no problem. I know you got to listen to your attorney. I'm sure they'll let you know. I'll tell you what, let me swing by this weekend and show you what I might be able to take off of your plate. So I think that would have worked for Courtney's character that he was playing. It's not going to work for everyone that you talk to, but the character Courtney was playing, I feel like you could have been a little more assertive. And the reality is, you're going to have to feel your way through a few conversations to figure out what type of personality and what type of responses you're getting that will work on. It's hard for me to tell you other than I think Courtney's character would have probably laid down to an appointment if you would have been more assertive. So try that. There's going to be times when you go, whoa, that assertiveness didn't really work for me. Let me just subconsciously, you'll hear it in the future and say, okay, I'm not going to be assertive with this type of personality, and I'm going to be assertive with that type of personality.
You're right, Bruce. I appreciate what you said about, I was too focused on just getting through my script. I wasn't listening enough. And I'm feeling that once I get my footing on doing the script more from memory or less as a script, but more as an outline, I think I can tune in a little better. And I was stepping on you a few times, Courtney. I know that was wrong. So thank you all for that feedback.
Awesome. Great job, Bernie. Thanks so much. All right. All right. We got Arthur's hand up, hands raised virtually. How you doing, Arthur?
I'm doing great, thank you. Yourself?
Oh, feeling blessed, feeling blessed. You ready to rock and roll, or did you?
Sure, I've not done this at all yet, okay? So take it easy.
Oh, all right, all right. Who wants to be the personal representative for Arthur?
Who
And
wants
while
to
we're
play the PR? Arthur, if do you want someone?
I will. I will.
Eric,
Eric?
awesome, Eric.
Cool.
And Arthur, is there a particular scenario you want to go over, or you just want to cold call?
Just call.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right, I'll mute myself and ring Eric in. Thanks, Eric. Ring Eric in and rock and roll.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, is this Eric?
Who's this?
This is Art Radke. I'm calling about the recent probate case that you entered into the Barnstable system.
Okay. How did you get my number?
Yeah, all the records are public records at the court, and so I go through. I recently just went through a probate situation myself. Unfortunately, my mother-in-law died, and I went through 2.5 years of agony. So I feel your pain if you're having any yet.
Thank you.
But
Thank
all that, all that is public record, and in going through it, and this will only take a moment, in going through that situation myself, I realized how little prepared I was to actually handle it. Now, I used an attorney, and I see in the filing that you're using an attorney also. By the way, I'm familiar with the attorney you have. He's a very good one. I think you'll be happy with him. But I didn't realize how much the attorneys didn't do. I kind of thought I handed it to them and they took care of it, and that's not what happened. Okay, and in retrospect, I should have realized it couldn't happen, such as cleaning out the house. There's no way the attorney can do that. But all of a sudden, I was cleaning out, 40 years worth of memories. It was very, very challenging.
Yeah. Hey, I'm sorry. What was your name again?
Art Radke.
Got
Art,
it. Got it.
A-R-T.
Hey,
Yeah.
Art. What exactly are you calling for? I don't have a lot of time. I got somewhere to be. How can I help you, man?
Sure. Okay. Because I went through the process, I ended up developing a complete list of people who do everything that I had to do as the personal representative. Okay. People to help
Okay. Yeah,
clean out people.
I got a lot of family members in. We're working that out. So I appreciate your call.
Okay. Would you, I have a little, a pamphlet that lays out the whole process that I could send you if you'd like. It tells you exactly the timelines and stuff, which would have helped me because it took 2.5 years. It could have taken a year if I had understood what was happening. Would
Okay,
that be
sure,
helpful?
sure. Yeah,
Okay.
send that over.
Okay. What would be a good email address for that?
Oh, you need my email?
Yeah, in order to send it. Yeah.
Okay. 123@yahoo.com.
Fantastic. Okay, I also have put all this into a book that is going to be out in about 30 days. Would you like me to send you a copy of that also?
You can do that. Yeah, that's fine, man. Send me whatever you got. I appreciate it. Thank you for giving me a call.
Excellent. All right. If anything comes up, let me know. All my contact information will be there. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll
Thank
do
you.
that. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Too much
Awesome.
about himself
Sorry.
at
All
the
right.
beginning.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
I said that was great. Eric, you said something. Sorry, I
Oh,
didn't mean
no,
to step
no,
in there.
I didn't. It's
All
okay.
right. Thank you, Art. Thank you, Eric. What we got for Art? Or Art, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about the call?
Well, I think I could have been a little smoother. Clearly, I ended up with an interesting dynamic there at the end, and I had to make a decision how to play with it. And so that will be interesting what people think. My basic philosophy on these, I've done these types of calls, but not for probate before. And if I feel as if I'm getting along with the person, even though he wanted to get off, I felt like I was getting along with him. He was being agreeable to me sending him information, which will put me in front of him again and stuff. The whole mission of this phone call in my world, and if people disagree, I'd love to hear it, is simply to have a little bit of a relationship to build on.
Mhm.
And I felt I had that. And so once he gave me permission to email it to him and send him the book that I'm doing and stuff, I had an open way to keep communicating with him that he had already agreed to. And now it became my job to move from that position into developing that relationship is the decision I made rather than trying to keep him on the phone.
All right, I got you. I got you. It's great that you had a mission, knowing what you're going in for. I'll be
Yeah.
curious, Miss Eric, how did you experience that? What any thoughts?
Yeah, I think, like he said, he didn't, I tried to give a tone like a "you're bothering me" tone to see how far he would go. And if he would let that affect his process, and he stuck with it. It's just at the end when I threw that out there, like, "Hey, I'm in a rush. What do I was waiting for him to jump on the real estate side to ask that next question after he got the information. Thank you. Hey, by the way, before I let you go, one last question, and then ask about the real estate, because he doesn't even know if I have any real estate to sell or anything. If that was
Actually, it was in your filing, actually. So you didn't
got it.
realize
Okay.
you had a house worth 850,000. My God.
Yeah, just for role play purposes, my bad. Just for
Not
role.
easy. Yeah.
So
But
that's
yeah,
why I kind of tried to abrupt end it, because that's one of my thought process. Like, what if they just want to hurry up and get off the phone?
Mhm.
What's a good way to kind of give that one last question about the real estate just to
Yeah.
confirm what they're gonna do with, maybe what they're gonna do with it. Like Bruce says, whether I'm gonna waste my time sending my information and it's already sold, or they're not gonna sell it at all. You don't know, you know what I mean? So I think that's just an important question. So that's why I set it up that way.
All right.
Other than that, everything was great.
Okay. Should I give insight on why I didn't do that? And again, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying in my thought process of why I didn't do that. Would that be interesting to people or not?
Let me give some insight on that.
Please. Okay.
If I could. Okay. So, I think I understand why you didn't do that. And it's the same reasons that I didn't used to ask the real estate question. Okay. You already know. Okay. You want to establish yourself more as a concierge than pigeonhole yourself into real estate. Okay. Stop me if I'm just completely off mark. I feel like,
Yeah. No, I think yeah. And as I already said, and develop the relationship.
yeah, exactly. Develop that relationship without now all of a sudden making this person think that you're just in it for the house.
All right.
Okay, so here's when I ask real estate questions, I normally give everyone an out, but I give them an out on my terms. And on my terms, it's not, are you going to sell the house or are you going to keep the house? That's an out on their terms because they get to say, I'm going to keep the house. And if they're being resistant, they get to just shut me down at that point. So I would encourage you to pull the real estate in, probably not abruptly, but do pull the real estate in, even if you think you already know. And if you give them an out on your terms, it's normally something like, is it too early to decide on the real estate yet? Is it too early to decide? And now they get the gratification of holding you at arm's length, and you get the knowledge that pretty much anyone that says it's too early to decide on real estate is probably going to sell. So essentially, when I ask the real estate question, what I'm asking in my mind, and they don't know this, they don't hear this, but I'm saying, are you going to sell the real estate? Yes or yes? Okay. And now they don't hear that. They hear, are you thinking about selling the house or is it too early? That's what they hear. We just know that if it's too early, if they haven't decided on real estate yet, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be sold. So I need them to tell me what their plans are with the house so that I know how to proceed with the relationship. I'm not going to keep putting tons and tons of stuff in front of my average prospect or lead. I'm not going to keep calling them over and over and over again. And I don't mean to say that I put high pressure on them, but I'm going to dial my prospecting back if their answer is, no, I'm living here and I have no plans to move. So I do want to get to that real estate question so that at least I know and can properly formulate my follow-up game from that point.
Okay. And I would not have thought that if I asked them, is it, have you decided what to do with it yet, or is it too early to just, to tell? I would not have thought if they said it's too early to tell that would mean that statistically they're most likely to sell it. I would not have made that assumption. Now, you've obviously made a lot of those calls, so you're not making an assumption. You're making a statement from experience. I would not have guessed that, because the very house that I'm in right now, okay, was a house that we were 100% going to sell. If anyone had talked to us in the first 45 days, it would have been absolutely, as soon as we have it cleaned out, as soon as we, have it kind of cleaned up and stuff, it's being sold. It would have been our thought process. And yet we ended up buying it from, it was owned by 2 people. There were 2 heirs. And so we bought out the other half.
Yeah.
And so because of my personal experience, I would not have assumed the assumption that you're making.
So It's gonna be a high percentage of the time. Now, it took me 9 years to start doing that. So
Mhm.
you wouldn't have assumed it. You're what 4 or 5 weeks into probate. So there's nothing wrong with you saying I wouldn't have assumed it, because it took me 9 years to figure out what we don't know yet means.
Mhm.
We don't
Right.
know yet means we're trying to politely hold you at arm's length.
Right.
I'll
Go for it.
go ahead. No, I'll just I just had just I was going to take it to two different points. But if you had something else.
Go for it.
All right. Just back to the opening art. There was a small space or a space in between your hello and your intro where afterwards it wasn't you didn't end with a question or end with something that was going to continue the conversation, continue your unique selling proposition. I think even Eric was like, okay, what are you calling for? So just be mindful of that. You what you say the first 5 seconds buys you the next 5 or 10 seconds. So you may
Right.
want to just brush up on like the how to get to that open-ended question or whatever that thing is going to help you keep going. Like, hey, this is Courtney. It's called I'm a probate property specialist. Calling families to help them through the probate process. But it sounds like it caught you at a bad time, or just calling to see what challenges you may be facing, or what's the biggest challenge you're facing. There was a slight pause between you telling them who you were before you could tell them what you're doing.
That's a good point.
But also I also felt like because right after that you did go into the you're sharing your story about your experience and all, which is I think a great thing to be able to share with a prospect or with the client at some point if you have that rapport. But to me it felt like it was super early. I almost felt like I got started in the middle or in of a 30-minute conversation. Like, whoa, how did we get so deep here? This is a little, but I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with sharing and connecting, but making sure it's about Eric or the other person. They should be talking more than you. They should be sharing more than you. So I think that was
Okay.
just the timing of it was a little too early for me. I don't know if other people felt that, but those are 2 points I would bring up. Just being able to make sure you get them talking all if that makes sense.
I'm gonna pin to that. So there's different places in a conversation where they're just kind of you cross somebody's boundaries. Okay. You had crossed Eric's boundaries, and then you went back to the boundary again. And the boundary was, hey, I don't have a whole lot of time for this call right now. So Eric expressed that boundary. I feel like you kind of blew through it without knowing whether you'd crossed a boundary or not. So you just kind of jumped into the pitch and started sharing the story and different things like that. So I'm going to strategically put a few places in my call where I ask for permission to go further. It's my ability to test to see where the boundary is. And if they say, oh, actually, I don't have any time, what's this about? Then I know that their tolerance for a conversation with a stranger is pretty low. And I know that I've kind of hit that boundary at that point. So I'm going to pull back without going into a lot of explanation, and I might ask them a few questions. So the best way to know whether you have permission to go further is to just ask permission. Hey, could I give you a quick rundown of what I'm calling for? Could I take a fast moment to tell you what I'm calling for? Really important, especially if you have a story to tell, is could I tell you why I would even offer a service like this? Okay, get their permission. Can I tell you why I would even offer a service like this? Yes. Now you have the room and the permission to tell your story.
Okay. That's a good point. Yeah.
I would encourage you to try to summarize your unique selling proposition and your stories a little bit more. Just kind of practice summarizing those. The best way to do that is to record yourself. Maybe go get the app on your computer, Audacity, and record yourself and see how long it takes you to describe certain things or explain certain things. And if it's taking a long time, think, okay, how can I cut this in half? How can I explain this a little bit faster? And anything that you do explain, it's hyper important that you ask a question at the end, because that's going to be how you control the call moving forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Great.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Thanks, Eric, also for stepping in for us. All right. Let's see. Is there anything in the chat? Who's next? Who wants to jump in next?
Who's up? Don't everybody rush to the stage all at one time.
I guess it's my turn to get in the seat.
All
Yeah.
right, Eric. All right. Who's the personal representative? Who's the PR?
Who's gonna be the PR?
Who wants to play personal rep? All right. Eric, who do you
All
want
right,
to
Laura.
play
I see
personal
Laura.
rep?
Laura,
Yeah, Laura. All right. Cool.
Okay,
All
go
right.
ahead. All
where's
right.
she at?
I
Okay.
I was laughing when she said she was from New Jersey because I'm from New York and I'm the same thing. It's like, hurry up, hurry up. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Ring ring.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning. I was trying to reach Laura Beltran.
Who is this?
Yes, my name is Eric. Look, we don't know each other, and I'm not trying to sell you anything or solicit you anything. Do you have a quick minute for me to tell you why I was giving you a call?
I usually don't take calls from strangers. I thought you were somebody else, so that's why I picked up my phone. So I can give you like 1 minute and that's it. Because I don't
Thank
even
you.
know who you are.
Yeah, I get it. I'm the same way when it comes to calls. It gets on my nerves sometimes. Well, this call is regarding the estate of John Doe, and I had your name identified as a
My brother, I'm so
execute. Ex,
sorry. I can't take it.
I'm so sorry. I completely understand. Um, I make these calls often, and I know it could be tough. Um, is it okay if we continue?
Okay.
I'll make it real brief. So what I do is I offer a turnkey service. It's a concierge service, and I help um, people like yourself that's going through the probate process. And it sounds like um, I'm not sure to assume anything, but it sounds like you might have this handled. Or is there anything I could take off your plate?
Nothing. I'm too upset.
Okay, hey, listen, I totally get it. Why don't I, if it's okay with you, give you my information, and when you're in a better space, perhaps I can give you a call back.
I want to know what you know now. I need help now.
Perfect. And I hearing you cry, it really touches, it really reminds me of my situation, um, going through the same thing. And like I said, I'm very, very sorry that you have to go through this. It could be tough. So really, like I said, I was really just trying to see if there's anything I could take off your plate, or do you have that already handled?
No, I don't. It's only me. I have no brothers and sisters. I have nobody. It's just me.
Yeah, it's tough. I know going through this by yourself. Um, can I tell you why I would even offer a service like this?
Yes, tell me.
Yeah, so I'm going through probate myself for my mother, and I'm the only child too. So I definitely understand how it is. You really don't have anybody to turn to, or to ask questions, and I want to be that for you. What are what's most heavy on you, on your that you're going through right now that potentially I can help you with?
Well, he lives in Florida and and I live around the corner from you. So, I think you have the same area code as me. So it's just a long distance situation and I'm just feeling so overwhelmed. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I totally get it. So so the property is here, and um, John Doe lived in Florida, or you're
Florida. Yeah,
here and the property's in Florida.
I think I said that wrong. You're right. The property's near you and I live in Florida. I'm just so confused.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. No worries. We're gonna go slow. Okay. So the property's here, and you live in Florida. Is the property vacant, or is there someone still living there?
Well, he just had a tenant who just moved out, but it's a mess from what I hear. I haven't even seen it.
Okay. So number one, I could stop by and take some pictures just to kind of show you what it looks like now, if that would be helpful. Just do a
How much
quick
do you
drive.
charge for this? How much do you charge? Because I have no money.
Yeah, so my services are free. What I do is I connect you with people that, such as people that could do the yard. If there's, if the grass is overgrown, locksmith, we can get you some, maybe somebody that board up the house if need be, if the weather gets too bad. So my services are free. I just connect you with those people and you'll have that direct number so that they can help you. Because I know trying to look in the yellow pages and going through all those things could be a hassle. So we have vetted people that we've worked with in the past for situations like yourself um, that we help connect you with. So that'll
Well,
be
you're a
free of
gift
charge.
from God. That would help me so much.
Oh, thank you. You're so kind. Just to hear that you're brightening up my day. And here I was trying to call you and brighten up your day.
Well, you have.
Okay. So it sounds like you do have some real estate. Now I know it's probably too early to tell, or have you even made a decision on what you're going to do with that?
Well, since I'm an only child, it's my decision and I have to sell it because I told you before I have no money. So I'm going to need the proceeds to pay off his bills and do everything else that I need to do. So I'm going to sell it as soon as it's in the proper condition because I want the most money possible.
Okay. Okay. So it sounds like you've already made the decision to sell the property and you do want the most money as possible. So are you going to dump a bunch of money into it to fix it up, or are you going to sell it as is?
Told you I have no money, so I can't put a whole bunch of money in unless you can figure out or help me figure out a way that once you take a look, if you can figure out a way for me to, I don't know, I don't know if I would be entitled to a home equity or whatever. I have no idea. I have no idea. That's why I'm relying on somebody like you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, it's a lot of moving parts, and I'm sorry, I do this every day, so I'm only asking the questions just so I could get a better idea of your situation. So you don't have any money, you don't plan on putting anything into it. And another reason why I ask is because I have um, buyers that are willing to give you cash for the property as is, and I'm not sure if this is premature to even ask if that's something you would even consider.
Oh, I know those investors, those shady investors, they lowball, and I'm not giving this property away. All right, it's my brother's blood, sweat, and tears, and I'm not doing that. So no, I'm not willing to do that. Let's come up with another way to get me the most money for that property.
Okay. Okay. So that leads me to what I can actually do for you. Um, Number one, I'm going to drive by the property, give you an accurate assessment of the condition, send you over the pictures. Um, Number two, if there's somehow, I don't know, do you have if I can get access to the inside, I can do a quick walkthrough, take some videos for you.
I need you to
And
send me, I need you to send, because I don't know who you are. Like I said, you're lucky I even answered the phone because I thought you were somebody else. So no, I'm not going to give you access to the house without me knowing who you are. So if you could send a picture of your business card and any information that you have about yourself, your track record, so that I can look you up because I never deal with people that I don't know. So if you could send me all that, and then call me back, and then once we know all that and I know who you are, then we can, because I look you up on Crime Stoppers and everything. So I want to make sure you're not a fraud or a felon, So let me just check you out and then call me back in a day or two, and then we can discuss it once I've checked you out, once I've vetted you.
absolutely. Okay. What's a good email for you? And I could send you that information.
123schmuck@aol.com.
Okay, perfect. Now, what's a good time to give you a call back in the next couple of days? Are we looking at Friday, or would next Monday work better for you?
Well, I only have mahjong on Friday, so my mahjong game ends at 2. So anytime after 2 is fine.
Okay, so we have after 2 on
Mhm.
Friday. Would you prefer to do a Zoom call so you can see me face to face and we could get to know
Absolutely.
each other better?
Yes, I would prefer it because I can tell a lot from your eyes.
Perfect. So we're gonna do it. Would you prefer Zoom or Google Meet? What?
I have FaceTime. Do you have an iPhone?
Yeah, we can FaceTime. Perfect.
Okay,
So we
let's
got a
FaceTime.
FaceTime on Friday afternoon um, to go over the process of getting your brother's home sold.
Okay, make sure you sharpen your pencil.
Yes, ma'am, will do. Okay,
Oh,
look forward to seeing you on Friday.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
wow. Wow, the Oscar goes
See,
to
gave me.
Woo!
Woo, my
Lord,
ribs hurt.
Lordy.
I had so many body
Yeah.
blows, I don't know what to do.
But you were great.
Thank you.
I
I
completely
was
agree.
shaking in my boots.
Laura, you gave it to him, and that would sound like a scary call, but it was just so profitable as far as the opportunities and how you. In my opinion, I thought Eric handled it very well. I mean, there's so many notes
I
I
did
have here,
too.
but I don't want to.
I did
Who
too.
wants? Yeah, who wants to jump in, Laura? What do you have for Eric, or anyone want to jump in? Oof.
Well, I felt he was authentic. I felt he was
Mhm.
compassionate. I felt that he wasn't rattled by me at all because I was being a biatch, you know. I thought he was I overall I thought he did a great job.
Yeah, he kept it on you, asking
Yes.
great
Mhm.
questions. I guess because it's near the end that a great. I love how you went over the pre-commitment, went over the homework for each other. So you know you restated that, Eric, about what the next steps was. So you had clear next steps. Yeah, a matter of fact, let me just take a step back. I see some hands raised. Michael, you want to share what you heard in the conversation?
Yeah, I think you should have gone more on the empathy part of it. I mean, when she first started out, I mean, it was a curveball. It even threw me for a curveball. But it was obvious that she was really upset. So that would have been a great point to really get build trust and rapport with her by being really empathetic. You know, it sounds like you're really devastated. This is really traumatic for you. So, you know, some kind of very simple statement that would have gotten her to open up more, talk about the pain that she's feeling, and then really sort of focused on that. And that, I think, if
Yeah.
you'd done that, she would have opened up and just given you tons of black swans that you would have learned without having to ask a lot of questions. If you'd just been a little bit more empathetic.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that. I really thought that your tone adjusted well, Eric. I think through your tone, I felt a connection. She was waiting for somebody to talk to, as frustrated as she was. Um, uh, Joy, you had your hand up. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm jumped to you.
Oh, oh, well, sorry, no worries. I was waiting for you to finish. My hands. Can I talk now?
Oh yeah. Sorry, yeah. I was just stating that that I did notice a shift in the tone once he heard the condition that Laura was in. You
Yeah,
know,
because
like my daddy
at
say, it's
first
not
I
what you
didn't.
say, sometimes it's how you say it as opposed to what you say sometimes. Yeah, Eric.
Yeah, it caught me off guard because I didn't hear it at first, and I thought that's what pulled my mic down. I was like, so that's kind of why I was slow to respond to that. I didn't hear her crying at first.
I was watching your face, Laura, and I think it's good that we do these calls over the phone and not on Zoom because your face and your what you were saying weren't matching up. That one
Yeah,
messed me up.
exactly. Sit there laughing, you're crying and just man, I'm just over here giggling like this is not
I was
that's
just going, I was going for my Oscar moment, you
yeah, you were
know.
getting it. You were giving it to us.
Eric, I think that you probably should have expanded on what you do just a tiny a little bit, because you were kind of saying, "Hey, what do you need?" And I get that. We want to say, "What do you need?" But the people don't know. Like
Yeah.
they know what they need. They're just kind of stuck in this free fall or quicksand, and um, and there's so many things that are on them that they can't pinpoint all the granules of sand that are smothering them, and they can't say it's this and it's this and it's that. They're just like, I'm just smothered. And so sometimes giving some brief overarching examples can help. So well, let me give you a couple of ideas of a few things that I do for some people really fast, and then I'll just ask you if there's anything that you might need. So sometimes it's a real estate need. I do have a real estate background, so if there's a retitle or a sale or refinance need, something like that, I can help. If it's just taking care of a house or paperwork, or you need a good attorney or even if it's somebody cutting the grass, I could make arrangements for anything like that and about 1,000 other things. But I don't want to bore you with all those. Do you mind if I ask you, Laura, what's kind of the biggest burden on you right now? I'll see if I could get rid of it for you. So kind of a quick, brief explanation. And then she said, how much is this going to cost? I agree. Who said? Somebody said not to use the word free. I mostly agree with that. Complimentary is a better word. So essentially, almost everything I do is complimentary. Because my real estate's background, I know that if a house is ever going to be sold, I'll have a chance to at least present a price. Pretty much any other connections or resources or services I provide, I'm not normally going to charge for, though. And so that would be a way to get what's in it for you on the table while still showing what's in it for her that you're not asking for anything for. Okay. And it's also implying that your payment to me is let me show you a price. That's the implication.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, Joy, you were waiting patiently. Joy, what were you going to share? Then we have Scott.
Okay, so first time in this, and I haven't read any scripts, but something I picked up when she cried and you asked if you can call later, and she said, I need help now. Your response was perfect.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I was like,
no,
no. Yeah, no, because it sounded like, oh, good, you're crying now. It's perfect for me to get in there. So yeah, I know it's probably a habit, something you use, but you should find another word. Definitely not perfect, because there's nothing perfect about crying.
Yeah, I had that in my notes too. I'm glad you picked it up, Joy. Yeah, man. It's like, whoo, like yes, great. Let's rock and roll. But anything else, Joy? Or Joy was enjoying this though. A lot of people were. A lot of people thought you had a great. Yeah, I saw her laugh, and I thought
she was acting so well. Yeah, nothing else is my first time, but hopefully I'll go through the training and the scripts. I'll give better input next
come
time.
on in. All right. What about you, Scott? Thanks, Joy. What about you, Scott?
So I was just wondering because when
Oh, sorry, Scott. I think I accidentally.
How's that?
There you go.
Is
sorry.
that good?
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good now. Yep.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
So there's a point where they got to the point where he almost said, well, do you want me to run by the house and take some pictures to see where it was? And at that point, I mean, maybe I was just I'd be too quick, but just to say, and then at that time we could have a discussion. Once I see that house, is there a way I could see the house, this weekend and do a video for you? Because it was like pretty early when she started crying. And when she said that, and he said he'd be glad to run over there and take some pictures because she didn't know what the condition was.
Right.
And then it would have really, in my mind at that point, it would have then we can discuss what the house is and then see what it is. Or we could I can even do, or if it wouldn't hurt you too much, I could even do a video call through the house while I'm there. So but she did put that out there at one point, but there never was discussion about seeing the house after that.
No, he did. At the end, he said that. And that's when I said to him, I don't even know who you are. So before I let you in my house, I want you to send me the business card. I want you to, I want to vet you. So he did come back to that. And then I shut him down by saying, I do Crime Stoppers. And I don't want somebody who, because it's true. I don't know him from Adam's house cat. So why am I going to let him into my house? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the good thing about this personality is that you will come across personalities like this. I've had anyone in just tears like this, but I've had people who she's going to be, once she trusts Eric, she's going to be Eric trusting. Right. He's going to be able to guide her and walk her along the way. And there, God bless you, thank you. Those I have received. I'm sure other folks have received those as well. So that is awesome. It's almost like once he's in, he could slow dance this to whichever direction he wanted to once she trusts him, as long as you have integrity and you continue to show that trustworthiness that you were showing. So this call, I even though it was been challenging, and Eric, you handled it so well, there's so much, it seemed like, opportunity for you to serve and to hopefully be compensated well for that. All right, I see we have a little bit of time for maybe Ron has a question, or you want to state something. Go ahead and
yeah, it's just that it just really shows us that how much we're unprepared or or should we say we should be prepared for almost anything? This was a great call because I don't think anybody expected the call the way it went.
Yeah,
To answer the phone and have someone crying. So I think it's a great call to show us all that we need to be aware that that call can be anything.
yeah, that's why that
Yeah,
blank
and she
slate.
didn't start off crying. So it was like
Right.
she started off hammering me like, who is this? Why are you
Yeah,
calling? I don't talk to strangers. Then just broke down. I was like,
Yeah,
whoa.
yeah.
you did. I think, given the circumstances, I think you did very well because I don't know too many of us that are in this particular point in time of making our calls that we would have been that experienced to be able to handle it. I think you did very well.
Yeah,
So
no,
do
that's
Thank you.
I.
good.
Yeah, I thank Laura for
you
that
did.
call.
No,
It
no, no.
prepared us
you're,
Thanks,
all.
Laura.
because your tone, no, but your tone, truthfully, you may have not done anything. I'm sorry, you may have not done everything right, but I'm an old psych nurse, right? So I really read people, etc. I would have done business with you because you didn't give me a hard sell. You were very compassionate, maybe not at not 100%, but enough for me, and you made me want to have another call with you, but I definitely needed to vet you. So I thought you did a great job.
Awesome. Oh, that was a great, awesome offering the Zoom call as well, like that face to face, especially
Right.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
awesome. Hey, Mike might have the last word, and then Mike and then Bruce with the last word.
I just say if we got time, man, I like to take Laura on. I want Laura to hit me up.
I
Give me
got
the
you.
chance.
Now, if we have time, I have a hard stop at 1:30. I don't know if Bruce can keep
me
going.
too.
You got a hard stop at 1:30. Mike,
Yeah.
you here to play the prospect or the
I want the agent.
agent?
Yeah.
I'll go a little bit long. I don't have much time, so we'll keep this call relatively.
Yeah. We
All right.
can stop at any time. It's not a problem.
And just because I have to roll off, guys, I love this. Bruce, thanks for letting me be a part of it, everyone. So I might see you all next week if I'm not able to stay on.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah, 2 weeks, yeah. Yep.
You ready, Laura?
Oh, and me again?
Yeah.
Go ahead, get him.
You ready? Let's go. Let's
Okay.
go. Ring, ring. Ring, ring.
Hello?
Yeah. Hey, Laura.
Who's this?
Yeah, my name is Michael. I'm a probate specialist here in the local area. Is now a
What
bad
is
time to
that?
talk?
Wait. What is a probate specialist?
That's a great question. It sounds like you haven't heard of us before.
Nope.
Are you opposed to me sharing with you some an example of how I've helped some clients and maybe answer your question at the same time?
I guess so.
Yeah. So we work with families on the non-legal side of the probate process. And recently I had a client that that lived out of state, had a house full of stuff that was a personal representative of an estate. And we helped them sort of get it cleaned out and get it to a position where they could sell the house. And it took a lot of anxiety and stress out of the process. What kind of frustrations are you finding or are coming across as executor of the estate you're working on?
What kind of stress? Do you
Yes,
have
ma'am.
10 hours to discuss my stress? I just had a heart attack. I have 2 bypasses scheduled for next week. And now I have to do all of this. All of this is not fair. And my deadbeat brother is not doing anything to help me.
Laura, it sounds like you're going through a tremendously tough time right now.
Tough. That's an understatement.
How are you able to handle so much stress and anxiety right now?
I'm not.
It's got to be destroying you inside. It's got to be really tough.
That's why I had a heart attack. Nobody cares though. Nobody cares.
Yeah. It sounds like it's really important to you that you take care of your health right now.
That's true.
Yeah. Laura, what do you think is something we could take off your plate? What's something you would want to get off your plate so you can focus more on your health and try to get back to a better physical being?
Sell my brother's freaking house.
Oh my God. So that sounds like that'd be the number one priority that you like to do in order to sort of get back to normal and get your health back in shape and everything.
Yes, but I don't have time. Because I'm having surgery and it's going to take me, I have to go to cardiac rehab. So I'm not going to have time to even think about this for months.
Yeah. You need to put your health is number one priority. You've got to get that taken care of before you do anything else.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm glad you understand that.
You know, Laura, Laura, are you opposed to me sharing with you some advice that I share with a lot of my clients?
Okay.
So, Laura, it comes down to really two choices. The first choice is you can try to take on the anxiety and stress of this probate process, and then it's just going to put you in the hospital, and unfortunately, it may cause even more damage than just the hospital. Or you could, if you find someone that you could trust and that could take something off your plate, get your house sold, put some money in your pocket so you can focus on your health and you don't have to worry about it. You know, those are sort of your two options. You know, how of those two options, Laura, which one do you think would best sort of fit your situation right now?
Okay, I know people like you. You're the third phone call I got, but they never called themselves probate. They just called themselves real estate something or other. I couldn't even bother listening to them because it was just too much. I'm just too upset. So you're the third person that called, and I know that there's a cost. So what are you costing me?
Yeah, you know, Laura, it sounds like you're getting a lot of calls from you know, scumbag type investors trying to steal the property from you, and that's got to really frustrate you and maybe even add more anxiety and stress to your current situation.
It does.
Yeah, it makes you feel horrible, doesn't it?
I feel like you can't trust anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you want it's important that you trust someone and they can help you and get things done for you quickly, and so you can take some of the stress off your plate.
That's true.
Yeah. You know, again, Laura, like I said, it comes down to two situations. You can either continue the way you're doing and be really stressed out and, you know, like I said, end up in the hospital really sick, or, you know, we could schedule a time to sit down and talk. You get to know me more in a personal manner, face to face, and then you can make the decision if I'm really a trustworthy kind of guy. You know, which of those two options, which one?
Did you not hear me? I'm having bypass surgery next week. I can't sit down with anybody right now.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I apologize. I did not. I heard you were having bypass, but I didn't realize it was going to be this soon. So it sounds like that's really critical for you to do.
Yes, yes.
How long do you think? How long do you think that's going to keep you?
In order, huh?
Yeah. How long do you think you're going to be laid up doing bypass surgery?
Well, now they kick you out of the hospital right away. So I have to maybe 3 days in the hospital, and then I have to go to rehab for 6 weeks. And after that, I don't know how I'm going to be. So I can't make any decisions until after all of this is done.
Yeah, and you know, you don't want to make any decisions right now. You need to focus on your health and you're getting better and making sure your heart can survive. You know, you can survive just in general.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, are you opposed to the idea of of us meeting or getting back together sometime about, let's say, another month, maybe a month from today?
Well, a month from today, I'm going to be in rehab. So it would have to be like 2 months from today, because then I'll know whether I'll be dead or not.
Okay. Well, so it sounds like sometime in let's say this is October, November. It sounds like sometime in early December, you may be in a better physical situation to sort of maybe meet in person or somehow get together and talk a little bit more.
That sounds fine.
Okay. Yeah. Are you opposed to any reason we couldn't meet? Let's say December 9th. You know, maybe 10 o'clock in the morning. We'll figure out a way to get together somehow.
Well, you call me on December 9th, because like I said, I don't know what my health is going to be like. You call me December 9th, and if I'm fine, then we can make an appointment for the next day. If I'm not fine, then I'm not fine, and we'll have to postpone it.
Yeah. So right now, based upon your health and you're getting better, December 9th, it sounds pretty good for you to meet.
No, that's not what I said. I said, call me on December 9th.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, we'll do a phone call. Absolutely. On December
and
9th.
Then
yeah,
if we want to meet in person, we could do that on the 10th.
Okay. Yeah. And we'll figure that out. Right. Again, it's all, you're completely in control of this process, and that it's all about your health and what you can handle. Right. So we're working your schedule. So whatever dates work for you, work for me. That sound fair?
That sounds fair.
Great. Laura, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me. I really appreciate your situation, and I hope you get to feeling better soon.
Thank you.
You take care, Laura.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Cool. All right, good. Guys, I'm running a little tight on time. Laura, give Mike some feedback real quick.
I didn't think he listened to me twice. You know, I told him about, my timeline, that I was having surgery that next week, or, in the next couple of weeks. So he was trying to push for an appointment before then. So that was the one thing. I thought he was empathetic, which was great. And then he didn't listen to me about the December 9th. So so that would have been, if that was me, if this was real, I would have been like a little annoyed about that. You're not listening to me, you know what I mean? So that's my only two, but overall, good job.
Yep. My only feedback is that I wouldn't have known what we were meeting for. So I like to get to a point where I can at least summarize so that person knows what the heck this meeting is about, because I would never accept a meeting if I had no clue what it was about. Now, I'm not saying come out and say it's about real estate, but I am saying come out and tell them what you're going to discuss when you meet. So I want it to be a little bit more clear to folks what that is. Barbara, real quick, and then we are going to go for it, Barbara.
Just quick question. In that situation, since she said she was going to be getting surgery in a couple of weeks and out of commission for a couple of months, would you have leveraged that opportunity to say, hey, why don't we, a lot of my clients have a property that's unsecured. Before you go into surgery and before you take care of your health, just to make sure that, this asset is going to be in a good position. Why don't we walk through it and let me help you secure it, while you're away?
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. I actually would have probably put a binary choice in front of her before bringing the security of the property up. I'm going into surgery at such and such a time. Hey, yeah, it sounds like you're going to have your hands full. Listen, you mentioned the property. Is that something that you're wanting to put off until you're finished with therapy, or are you wanting to deal with this sooner rather than later? Sooner than later, or not until later? Not until I'm done, not until I'm back. Okay, no problem. I'll tell you what you probably should do now, and I'm happy to help out with this. I would go ahead and secure the property, especially if it's vacant. Winterize it. You're in New York. Winterize it. Get a no trespassing sign up. Change the locks. Do some things like that. Is that something you'd like me to handle for you and over the next week? So something along those lines. But before I really deal with the security of the property, I want to figure out if she wants to do something now with the property, because she said I got to sell it.
Hold on. Here, my thought is this. Look, obviously she's under a real stress right now. She's got medical conditions and all that. She's focused on that. I mean, all I was trying to do was set it up for the next call where this would be more discussed in detail. I mean, her number one priority right now is not selling the house. It's not cleaning out the house. It's her health. I mean, she told me she had all these medical problems.
She didn't say that until late in the call.
Yeah, but that was completely on purpose, because I was trying to build a rapport with her. My number one thought was I wanted to make sure she knew I was empathetic and that I really cared about her current health situation, because that's what I felt like was important to her. Not selling the house, not cleaning it out, none of that stuff. It was her health, because she said it multiple times.
Yeah, totally understand. But I agree with that. But that's an assumption that you made that she doesn't want to deal with anything with the property right now because health's a priority.
Well, she told me she did. I mean,
I told him
I know you got a
that.
lot to go. I mean,
No, I told Michael that I could not, I can't even think about it right now because
there I am not listening. Okay, I'm the one not listening then.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I told him that, and I actually raised my voice. I can't think about that right now. I have to.
So now the whole thing was this call set up the second call when I call her back in a month, 2 months. Say, Laura, how was your heart surgery? You're obviously I'm talking to you. You're alive. I am so happy you made it through the heart surgery. How are you feeling now? And then I can hit her up for let's clean the house out and let's sell the house and all this other stuff. All I did was set up call number 2.
Got it. No, that's cool. I missed the I can't deal with this right now. Sorry, that's my mistake.
No problem.
Okay, perfect, guys. I appreciate everybody being here. Thanks to Courtney, who's jumped off already, for leading this. I love it when he leads these things. Everybody that role played, thank you guys so much. The Oscar to Laura. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you all. And we're doing this again in 2 weeks. Role play again Wednesday in 2 weeks, 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific. Look for your email. See you guys soon.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.